All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, so we don't have any fights coming up this weekend, as far as the UFC. We do have Invicta and some other LFA, fights coming up, but no UFC. So I've just been kind of, thinking about the main event for us this past weekend, the third fight between Grasso and Shevchenko. And, a lot of questions been coming up, and I've been thinking about this myself. Shout out to Paul in the chat. He'd asked this one day, about Alexa Grasso, and some other questions came up about her. So I just wanted to drop a video and kind of talk about where I think Alexa Grasso is right now. A few questions come up. Should Alexa Grasso take a break, and can Alexa Grasso get back to a title shot? And if she does, can she get it back? Those are some of the questions that be coming up. Even to myself. So when I think about it, should Alexa Grasso take a break? I don't think so. I don't think Alexa Grasso really needs to take a break. I think that all Alexa Grasso needs to do is really work on those weaknesses that, we've been seeing in her past 2-3 fights now, 2-3-4 fights. I don't really think it's like a mental thing with her right now where, she needs to, sit down and rethink things. Nothing big happened, like, oh, she got cut real bad, or, she passed out during a weight cut, or, just something else outside of the cage that happened that can really kind of mentally drain you. Nothing tragic happened outside of the cage. She just got swept by one of the best fighters in the world, right? And that's what it is. Alexa Grasso, they had a perfect game plan for the first fight, and, they still had a good style for the second fight. But what it came down to was Alexa Grasso still not covering every basis. Like, they did what they were supposed to do the first time around. We can't knock that. They did what they were supposed to do. They countered Grasso. They countered Shevchenko striking. They had everything covered. They studied how, she makes those little mistakes every now and then. But for somebody like Valentina, who's been around the block, of course, that was rough for Valentina the first time. But with Valentina having the experience that she's had, all she has to do is tweak a few things or maybe pull out some other tools. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody counted Valentina out. A lot of people were saying Valentina's one-dimensional, or, oh, yeah, she can be beat one day. Yeah, she can be beat one day. But no, she's not one-dimensional. Yeah, Valentina got comfortable. Valentina kind of got comfortable, with the position that she was in because not too many people really brought that test. But Alexa Grasso studied her up and down. She studied it. She studied what she's seen. She studied that comfortable state that Valentina was in, right? So that's what it came down to. So in the third fight, Valentina came back and said, all right, we going back to basics. We covering the ground game. We covering this wrestling. We covering what we used to do, and we're going to stick to what her weakness is, right? All right, the stand-up game, Valentina might be a little bit quicker. Her jab might be a little bit more snappier, right? But you still giving Grasso a chance. So Valentina said, you know what? Nah, we're going to stick to what her weakness is, and we're going to drown her. And that's what it is. So for Alexa Grasso, I don't think taking time off just thinking about that and just saying, oh, this was too draining. We got to sit out for, over almost a year and take a break. I mean, I just think that's something they have to work on, work hard. And the only way you can really progress with that is in the next fight. Now, a normal turnaround time, for boxers and any fighters, like 6 to 7 months, that's fine. Like, if she wanted to just, come back in the spring, yeah, that's fine. But okay, you don't want to come back in December. You don't want to close the year out with another fight by December. That's normal. That's normal. 3 months, that's too soon for her. 3 or 4 months, that's too soon. But a regular turnaround like 6 months or 7, that'd be good for Alexa Grasso, because that way they have time to watch the film on what they did wrong, and then go back to the drawing board and just work on her wrestling. Her boxing is fine. Alexa Grasso's timing, her boxing, her punch placement, her striking is fine. But as far as like, her wrestling and her work off her back and just her, her get up and scramble is okay, but her grappling, her wrestling really needs work. That's what really needs work. She got physically stronger, so that's where they need to spend a lot of time. Need to get more wrestlers in, and that's just what she really needs to work on, like from here on, and just incorporate that into her fighting. Offensive grappling, offensive wrestling, all that's what needs to really be worked on. And I think the only way you can do that is getting right back into it after just a little mental break, and then after watching the tapes and then signing on for a fight in the spring, and then working your way back into, another fight where you can really work that into your game and just incorporate that. Because you see Roman Kopylov, after getting submitted against Hernandez, right? He came back in his next fight. He was doing a lot of takedowns. He was doing a lot of takedowns and groundwork. Some people were kind of booing at that fight, but he could have scored a knockout probably because he hurt his opponent. I can't remember who his opponent was that night, but he hurt his opponent a couple times, I think. But, he spent most of the time, on the ground getting takedowns and just kind of working on that. He came right back after that finish, after that finish. He came right back. So I think the same thing happened with Alexa Grasso. I don't think it's like some type of mental draining, like some type of physical beating like she suffered like Irene Aldana, where she got a bunch of cuts and now she got to take time off, or just like a all-around knockout loss and she got choked till she passed out. No, like this was just one where she was missing some things. She was missing some skill sets and she got exposed. You see Erin Blanchfield, she's ready to come back after getting swept by Manon. That happens. Sometimes you just have to get in there with a better fighter to see what it is you need to work on. Yeah, they had a great game plan the first time, but the next time around, somebody great like Valentina is going to pull out them tools. She says, it's been a while. All right, got to get out of my comfort zone. Valentina did that. So same thing with Alexa Grasso. She got to get out of her comfort zone and she got to wrestle. She might have to turn into a wrestler in the next couple of fights. Same way Roman did, taking them fights to the ground. Who cares if people get bored or they boo, get that work in. So, yeah, I think Alexa Grasso is fine. I think, no break. I think she just watch the tape. As soon as she get another fight signed on, that's going to give her that hunger again. Because like she said, even in her, her Instagram post, it didn't go her way. She's getting right back to training, and that's what she needs. She's only 31 years old. She's in her prime right now. This is the best she's ever looked in her career. Her hunger at flyweight has just been on another level, and she's just part of that big. She's just part of that big elite now. That big threat list to Valentina still. She's still part of that elite status where, she's making up that well-rounded division. And again, I think this is just part of the game. To be a well-rounded fighter, you got to get exposed every now and then to cover that ground. So yeah, 6-7 months off, get back in there with somebody like a Natalia Silva, and instead of boxing this time, use that new game plan. So yeah, no long break. And you think about it, she already had a long break. Her last fight was a year off. Maybe that's what kind of cost her. Instead of being active, it kind of took some away. Doing the tough show probably was more draining than having to come back for just a regular fight. So come back 6-7 months in the spring and she'll be good to go. But with that being said, like I said, with her being part of that elite, another question is, can she get back to a title shot? Yeah, I think so. Because right now, with the mix up of flyweights, I think with all of these flyweights, with how good they are in their special way, but at the same time they all have different skill sets that they're covering and the experience they have, I think that each fighter can expose something in the other at one point, or they might have like a specific weak strength that can expose their weakness. Basically, styles make fights, right? I still think that all of them have that type of hunger amongst each other where it could go back and forth, so Alexa Grasso, you match her up with somebody like Natalia, she might be able to expose something in her, beat her. She might be able to sneak in and get the winner of like an Aaron versus Rose, or, fight Manon. And who knows, Grasso might rise to the occasion and beat Manon, so anything can happen here. So she could put together another 2 fight. Well, let's say while Manon fights Valentina, Rose fights Natalia Silva, and then she wants to come back and fight the Rose and Aaron winner. She goes on another 2-fight win streak. That's all Grasso needs right now. She already won the belt, retained it by a draw, I know. But with that, she's already put herself in this position. She's the number 1 contender right now. So if she goes back and fights anybody below her, all she has to do is maybe win 2 good fights, put on a statement, put on a good performance in both fights, and then boom, she's right back there. So yeah, she can get another title shot. She can get back there real quick. But with that, the other question is, can she get it back? That's possible too. That is possible. I mean, let's say Valentina does beat Manon. Let's say Valentina does wash Manon or just beats her, and she wants to move on again, and Grasso happens to corner her by beating some other fighters. Well, let's say after Valentina beats Manon, Grasso's not going to get a shot right after that, right? So Valentina beats a couple other people. Valentina's back on her with a little win streak, possibly maybe two or three for a title defense. At that point, Grasso, if she beats two other fighters, she'd be fighting Valentina again. So let's say if she fights Valentina again, there's no guarantee that Valentina beats her again. You know, like this is Grasso's had Valentina in the most uncomfortable positions in her whole WMMA career at flyweight, you know, period, her whole career. You know, so with that being said, with the plan that Valentina had to take, that shows you that Valentina had to respect Grasso. So when Grasso sharp and poised again, Grasso could cook up something again. You know, she knows she has the physicality. She'll know she has the strength and the striking. All she has to do is work on her wrestling. So Grasso could very much well beat Valentina again. You know, there's no guarantee. I mean, they are 1-1-1 right now. Valentina's on top right now with the sweep, but remember, it's 1-1-1. So she could get the title back with that. But even if it wasn't Valentina, I'm going to be real, she could beat these other girls. You know, let's say if Manon does get it from Valentina, she has to fight Valentina. She's got enough skills and hunger in herself to believe in herself to go in there and fight and beat somebody like Manon. Does she do it? I don't know. I do kind of lean more towards Manon, but shoot, nothing's 100% right now because all of these girls are close to being well-rounded. They are strong, and they are different than the other crop of flyweights that Valentina faced on her way up. So, yeah, I think anything is possible right now as long as Grasso goes back to the drawing board and works on this weakness because a lot of people are seeing this now. Aaron sees it. Manon sees it. Rose sees it because let's say Rose beats Aaron. Rose is a tough style matchup for Grasso. You know, Rose has been on the top before. You know, she's fought nothing but elite fighters, and she's been there and done that, and it's forced her to get better as a fighter. Like Rose has some of the most sneaky jiu-jitsu in there, and you don't, and good takedowns. So you don't want to get taken down by somebody like Rose too. You know, she's really slippery. Like Valentina more so looks for like ground control when she's in there. You know, she's controlling you with the head and getting off a little ground and pound, and she's got you in that half guard. She'll like lay on you in the guard. Rose, she'll do that to steal rounds, but Rose will find the submission. So that's something like if Grasso runs into that, she's gonna have to make sure she's prepared. She's got to make sure she's prepared for that. So yeah, man. Just to say this before I get up out here, I don't want to draw this video out any longer. But yeah, man. Yeah, Grasso. I think a regular turnaround, 6 to 7 months, get right back in there as soon as possible. You know, keep the hunger going. It'll force you to get better. That's all she needs. She doesn't need like a long mental break from the game. Too young to do that right now. I think she needs to stay as active as possible because she don't want to lose her spot because the flyweight game is moving right now. Aaron, Macy, Rose, Manon, Natalia, Karine Silva, all these other girls are just going to be getting better. So while you chilling out for a year or so, let's say if you took a break off, everybody else is getting better. So nah, she just got to stay right in the mix and keep it going. And yeah, like I said, can she get back to a title shot? Of course. You know, she's number one right now. None of these other girls are invincible. She might have their kryptonite as well, too. Can she get the belt back? Sure. For sure she could. She could get it back, but it's going to be harder now that she's kind of been exposed in this wrestling. So there you have it. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Should Alexa Grasso take a break? If so, how long a break do you think she should take? Can she get back to a title shot? If she does, could she get the belt back? Make sure y'all subscribe, guys. WMMA Talk. I am out. Peace.